Welcome to another video by your friend Matthew Sherling. So this is another video in my Reading Aloud series, and I'm going to be reading another passage from the Book of Disquiet by Fernando Pessoa. And in the past, whenever I do this series, I usually try to switch up the author that I'm reading from each time. But several months ago, when I finished this, when I reread this book, one of my favorite books, I had chosen passages to read for this series, and so I probably will continue this pattern and read passages from the same book after I read the book, instead of switching it up every time. So this is the third or fourth video that I've made where I'm reading a passage from this weird and brilliant book. So here it is. This is from fragment 198. I stepped out of my own existence and found myself. Occultists say, or at least some of them do, that the soul has supreme moments when it recalls with the emotions or with some part of memory a moment or an aspect or a shadow from a previous incarnation. And since the soul returns to a time that is closer than the present to the beginning and origin of things, it experiences a sensation of childhood and of liberation. In descending that now little used stairway and slowly stepping out onto the forever deserted beach, it was as if I were using some magical technique to find myself nearer the monad that I perhaps am. Certain aspects and characteristics of my daily existence, represented in my normal self by desires, aversions, worries, vanish from me like fugitives from the law, fading into the shadows beyond recognition, and I attained a state of inward distance in which it was hard to remember yesterday or to believe that the self who lives in me day after day really belongs to me. My usual emotions, my regularly irregular habits, my conversations with others, my adaptations to the world's social order, all of this seemed like things I'd read somewhere, like inert pages of a published biography, or details from some novel in one of the middle chapters we read while thinking about something else, and the storyline slackens until it finally slithers away on the ground. There on the beach, with no sound but that of the ocean waves and of the wind passing high overhead, like a large invisible airplane, I experienced dreams of a new sort, soft and shapeless things, marvels that made a deep impression, without images or emotions, clear like the sky and the water, and reverberating like the white whirls of ocean rising up from the depths of a vast truth. A tremulously slanting blue in the distance that acquired glistening, muddy green hues as it approached, breaking with a great hissing its 1,000 crashing arms to scatter them over darkish sand where they left dry foam, and then gathering into itself all undertows, all return journeys to that original freedom, all nostalgias for God, all memories like this one, shapeless and painless, of a prior state, blissful because it was so good or because it was different. A body made of nostalgia for a soul of foam. Repose, death, the everything or the nothingness which, like a huge ocean, surrounds the island of castaways that is life.